So guys, we're here on a beautiful sunny Wednesday afternoon and we're going to be talking about leading. This is really, this is not so much about street approaches, although we're going to look at street approaches and see how that is in fact a microcosm of the macrocosm, to use a silly phrase, but I can't think of a better way of putting it. Greetings to Tim Powers here, who's been like an absolute, Jack Rabbit these days in the streets. Not just in the streets, pretty much every conceivable daytime location you have been, rocket fueled. You've been enthusiastic, you've been buoyant, you've been enjoying the sunshine here in Warsaw, and you've been getting some incredible results, and more importantly, you've been getting some incredible footage as well, which we'll talk about in just a moment. But that's the sort of the theme is the importance of leading, and how we can translate that from approaching girls during the daytime to the dating sequence, the texting sequence. You want a girl in your life more than just a one-off, and you want to know a little bit about how to manage things after you've got the girl's number and you're trying to set up dates. Often you might have had a first date and then it's difficult getting the second and the third and the fourth dates and getting it into a relationship. So that's the topic, leading. And a lot of us find it very difficult to lead. A lot of guys who get into daytime approach in particular, which is different from approaching girls at clubs and bars at night, are kind of a little bit more introvert maybe. They've taken to this stuff because it's their way, their door into dating. Cool, everyone's unique, different ways. An IT guy might love Tinder and online. Certain guys might be more socially savvy and they love working a room or buying a bottle of champagne and sitting down with some girls in a club, or whatever the social situation is. But for guys who approach during the daytime, they can often actually have had historically a problem with the switching, tripping the mental switch from being passive in the dating sequence to being active. And they may have learned how to be active and applied the skills during the daytime and in terms of approaching girls, but they then flounder during the dating sequence thereafter. Just to give guys a little bit of a heads up of what Tim's been up to recently, perhaps you could say a little bit about this ingenious new approach that you've had to filming.
Yeah, so something that's, I guess, kind of plagued the dating community, if you want to say, is the topic of recording infields. And as in,
I get sorry to interrupt, but I get a lot of, well, not a lot, but I get guys saying, "Oh, where's the infield, man?
Yeah,
show us you can do it."
Yeah,
and I'm like, I don't really want to invade a girl's privacy without getting her permission.
Yeah. And yeah, exactly what Alex is saying, and this has kind of been a moral conundrum for a lot of people, and also there's been the issue where channels get taken down and this type of thing.
Yeah, it's a practical issue too.
So what I've been experimenting with is the idea that if you do behave in a masculine way and you make your intentions clear and you're very, very direct, will women still be open to being chatted up openly on camera with consent? And
now, just stop there. Just let that sink in. Filming a girl in the street, presumably with a selfie stick or something.
No, just holding the camera.
Just holding the camera.
Better, yeah.
And it's like, I'm thinking, really? That works?
Would you mind if I asked you a couple of questions? No? Okay, cool. I'll come round here. I'm Tim, by the way. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Say hello.
Hi.
Okay. 1 second there. All right. Hi.
What does your channel do?
Well, my channel's not live yet, but the point of the channel... Okay, let's get you in the thing. 1 second. Oh yeah, very nice display you've got here. Okay, we've got a prep bag. So the point of the channel is to prove that you can talk to anyone, any place, anytime.
Great.
So it's basically teaching guys the skills to talk to women.
That's not hard. Just go up and talk to someone.
Yes, it's true, you know, but it's taking the first step, which is kind of, you know, so that's kind of ironically what this is.
Great.
And yeah, we're in real time. What was your name, by the way?
My name's Rabia.
Rabia, Tim.
Nice to meet you, Tim.
That's a very good handshake.
That's right.
Yeah, you know, because it's fun, but at the same time, it's not like, because it's got to be just right, you know. So as I've often said, in fact, as I said in my guide, which maybe we should get on the course, if you behave in a masculine way.
Yeah, you've written a guide which guys can have access to on the June course. Plug.
If you behave in a masculine way, the woman will have no choice but to treat you like a man. Right?
That needs to sink in. Like right down to the bottom of my boots.
Right down to the core.
Say it again.
To the core of your masculinity, yeah. If you behave, let's put it in a more simple way. If you behave like a man, the woman will have no choice but to treat you like one.
So that's the principle, and therefore you could be doing anything.
Yeah.
It's just whether you're behaving like a man in the situation or not.
Yeah. That's basically the premise of the approach. It's just been very, very clear and direct. I'm filming for my channel. Do you mind if we talk? Do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions? And then I'll go straight into an approach. And the funny thing is it works, and it's a beautiful way. I'm really enjoying it because it's clear, it's direct, the woman is on board. It aligns with my personal what I strive to attain as a man, which is acting with honesty and integrity, and being clear about your intentions. And of course, there's always an infinite level of progression within that. But I'm very, very happy with this new type of way that I'm working out as I go along. But this new way that I'm learning how to put this type of content together.
I think that what you've just said there about acting in a way that's congruent with your core values and beliefs. And it's where we got talking about this, quite recently, was this, would you treat other people as they would treat you? And it's like, I'm not sure I'd be happy if I knew that a girlfriend had taken a video of us on a date or in a slightly semi-intimate environment, even if it is in the street, and then minted it off of a monetized YouTube channel without even bothering to ask me first. Is that an issue for you? Are you happy? Where do you stand morally on private filming? Ethically.
Yeah, ethically. I'm not 100% sure on where I'm convinced on where I stand, because if realistically, would I be here where I am right now if I wasn't standing on the shoulders of people that have used this as a tool in order to convince me, even if it was secret filming, but that in a way kind of played a role in me being able to believe this was actually possible for myself. But all I can say is it feels really, really good to be doing it this way, and it definitely feels aligned to me, and it's brilliant that I'm able to, as things currently stand so far, that I've been able to make some really brilliant connections with women.
Yeah, I guess it's a good way of putting it. We don't need to have this conversation about what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah.
But the point is, this feels cool.
Yeah, exactly.
It's great. It's open and direct, and you're being frank with the girl, and that's also cool. And what you thought might be an obstacle to it being an effective approach, because we're not just talking about Tim's going out there and saying, hello, I'm doing a project on girls and whether they like to be approached by men. Could I ask you some questions? You got your clipboard, you're actually being direct and honest about the fact, no, I come over because I'm attracted to you. I've got a YouTube channel, this is what this camera's doing.
Yeah.
But you look kind of cute, and I couldn't help noticing that XYZ into the approach model. Is that right? You're running the approach model, as it were, on film with the girl's full knowledge and consent.
In a
Very
sense.
cool.
Yeah, in a sense. I mean, if you watch the previous vlog, you know, there's if you run the approach model enough, eventually you embed it, and you're somewhat going up and being yourself.
It's not like if you watch this, this is the approach model, and that's not. This is not. Don't take that away from this experiment.
Yeah.
But I bet if you broke it down, you would
yeah.
see that there are important. The key elements of the approach are there.
100%.
But in a spontaneous and improvised Tim Powers branded, trademarked way.
Exactly.
And I've seen a couple of these, so I can tell you that he is walking the walk, not just talking the talk here. Some don't work, the girl's like, no.
Yep.
And some do work rather spectacularly well. And in fact, just to segue into this topic, the dream ideal that you want to reach in terms of leading is you lead so well, you've got the frame so down, your vibe is so up, you are the man in the situation, that you can at a certain point roll off and the girl will be chasing you. And the one that I've seen of the one that you filmed quite recently is so fascinating because the girl knows she's on camera, you're walking down the street, you can see the sparkle in her eye, she's looking at you, and suddenly you're like, she comes up to you and she wants to kiss you.
I'm living here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I lived here last 3 months, and I doing this job, and then I'm working like a fitness job as well. Okay, come through. Yes.
Why you choose me?
Whoa, why? Because I saw beautiful eyes, of course.
She is the one who's now, you are the pursued, and she's the pursuing. And you kiss her in the street, or she kisses you in the street.
50-50.
Well, 50, but she couldn't, put it this way, she couldn't contain herself. Now that's a dream place to be in, whether it's on the street, rare.
Yeah.
But, as I say, on the date, or most critically, because guys often don't appreciate the importance of the texting exchange and the actual silence, the gap in between dates and texting and so on, that's where the magic is generated, and things flip round and you find that the girl is messaging you, how are you doing, are we meeting tonight, what are your plans? I was just telling Tim earlier, I've got a trip planned to a foreign location, and I've got a girl who's popped out of the blue, and she's said she's pushing for a date. In fact, she's invited me out to the ballet and the opera and whatnot, which I don't have time for, and I'm going to have to say, look, love, it's fantastic, I'd love to go to the ballet, but I haven't got, my schedule's a bit tight, let's meet for coffee, 40-minute coffee in the morning instead. It's about 6 months ago that I had a trip planned, and we set up a date at a mutual city in between our two cities, and she was playing silly buggers. You know when girls are like half interested and oh, I haven't got time, that's not going to work for me. So I just sent a message saying, look, love, you know, I've got on a long journey, I'm getting at that. The date's going to need to be longer. She'd put a time constraint on me.
Right, yeah.
But I'll only have an hour, she said. She says, I'm coming all the way to meet you at a mutual location.
Yeah.
On a train, it's going to take me 3 hours, and you're telling me when I arrive, we've only got time for an hour's coffee.
Yeah.
So I did the forest special. You've seen a couple of my messages where I
the forest special.
send her a ping of the book of etiquette, and I say, look, love, you've got to do better. I'm a busy guy. Yeah. Kind of text message, and assume that therefore it's over.
Right.
That I've burnt it, broken it. I've been pushed up. Not a bit of it. 5 months later, 6 months later, I get a ping out of the blue from her. Wow. Coincidentally, when I'm planning a trip to this foreign city, inviting me to the ballet. Right. And then when I don't reply to her, going on to Viber to try and get hold of me there. Yeah. Now that's the dream position where you've done something such that the girl is then chasing you.
Right.
What was it in the model that had, do you think, flipped it round such that she was virtually pursuing you?
Yeah, very, very good question. Well, here's the irony of that question, because it's almost hard for me to answer, Alex, because in my head I straight away go, well, I just went up and I'm looking at the mic. I just went up and I was being myself. The irony of just going up and being yourself is the reason it's hard for me to say what I was doing. I wasn't thinking in accordance to a strategy at that moment in time. I was just going up and being myself. Now, the way I describe that, I've got one very spiritual friend back in London, and he says, unless you can go up to the girl and completely trust yourself, how can she trust you? So it's almost like the techniques and the skills that we embed through the day game model, the goal of those skills is to throw them away. So what can I say? I noticed this girl, and she was looking quite attractive, very, very nice body. So first of all, I felt my attraction, and I led with the feeling of my attraction, and I wasn't hesitant to let that show. And I feel the law of state transfer. I feel one of the biggest mistakes that guys can make is waiting for the girl to feel comfortable in order for themselves to feel comfortable. When in reality, we share our state with the girl. So I went up to the girl and I look at her and I'm attracted to the girl. You know, physically, I'm physically attracted to the girl, right? And straight away she feels that from me. And this is how the interaction starts. Everything flows off of that, basically. The more comfortable I am with unreservedly sharing how I feel, the more she's able to feel how I feel. So I know that sounds a little bit esoteric, but let me see if I can condense that down into a practical tip.
Good. What was it that you did that you think put her into such an attraction bubble that she was initiating a kiss and looking for a kiss from you in the street on camera?
Yeah. Okay, so I feel what created the attraction bubble, and attraction bubble is a great word to use, is unreservedly allowing my own attraction for the girl to show. I feel yes. I was attracted to the girl, like visually and aesthetically. When I saw her from a distance, as I approached her, I thought, she's nice. I
felt it here.
Yeah, I felt it. Yeah, I didn't think it. I felt it, and I was in this moment, in this state of mind. I was happy to share that attraction with her.
Wow. Okay. So it's like the vibe that you took into the interaction worked the magic. What impact did the camera have, or was it incidental and she completely forgot it was even there? Or did it help you to get into a good place?
I mean, the fact that it helped me because I've been talking to loads of other people. I pretty much disregarded a lot of social fear at that point, so I was in a very, very good state. She was, of course, she consented, but the whole interaction, she was looking at me. So it's almost like the girls forget the camera's there. And you do still need good skills. You still need to have
absolutely.
You still need to be spot on.
You've got to hold a camera as well as everything else.
Yeah.
And was there a moment during the time you were with her when she seemed to you flipped her switch, or was it right from the beginning? Can you remember?
She was interested straight away because I had such a good vibe, but at every single moment that it was possible to move the interaction forwards, it was just very, very natural in that moment in time for me to do it. Warsaw, 2 million people, and this way.
You're right.
And in London, 10 million.
I know.
You know?
Yeah.
And In London, I was living for 10 years. Yeah, but here I like more fun. More
What do you think about Polish people?
Polish people. Hey,
Polish girl.
Polish girls. So Polish girl, I think they require a strong man, 100%. Yeah, you need to know. A Polish woman needs to feel your masculinity, 100%. This is the truth, right?
Okay.
Yeah, this is what I think. I think Polish women, they take care of themselves. And yeah.
They are beautiful or not?
Of course. Okay, come with me. They are beautiful. Of course, if they take care of themselves. In the cities, you always see the best, you know? So one of my principles when it comes to moving things forwards with a girl is to be so relaxed and at ease with yourself that, and this is maybe an advanced principle, but we'll share it anyway, that moving things forwards becomes incidental.
Do you remember the moment when she was...
I mean, look, she was kind of into it straight away, I'll be honest. She was kind of, but there was...
Considered to kiss her in the street, though. That.
Yeah. So there was a moment, for example, when I believe, if I leant in to ask her something. Sorry, do you want to tell me that again? It was something like this.
Okay.
And at this point, we've established physical proximity, but in a non like I'm trying to hold your hand or something like that. It was super natural.
Yeah, it was natural to touch someone because what you were saying, it helped to make that point.
Yeah.
Congruent to the situation.
Yeah.
And so that made her comfortable with physical proximity. But what about kissing? I mean, that's quite a high level of physical proximity.
You know, I was in a very cheeky mood. So,
Did you give her a cheeky smile? Did you walk her somewhere? Did you lead her?
Yeah. So I was in a very cheeky mood, and it's very, very nice to meet you. Something like this. Very, very nice to meet you. Of course, I leant in to say something, and then I think moments later I leant in again, and then I maybe even kissed her on the cheek because what can I say? I felt the vibe, you know. But I did it in like, oh, that was very nautish. You know, let's pretend that, you know, but I didn't even pay attention to it. I can't remember.
But you walked with her somewhere. What happened at that point?
So basically the conversation is quite funny because I'm looking at her eyes and it's almost funny. I can't think of what to say. I said, very, very nice eyes, very blue, striking eyes. I said, are they real? And then she goes, no, they're fake. She was wearing contact lenses, and I said, and you can see what I'm kind of struggling what to say, but it doesn't matter. Even if you can't think of what to say, but you're okay with the fact you can't think what to say, right? Yeah, that's the key, right? So if you're struggling what to say, but you're okay with the fact you can't think what to say, it doesn't actually matter. So I said, okay, yeah, fake eyes are the best, yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, fake eyes, something like this.
Were you walking at this point?
No. And then...
tell us when you were walking.
So, again, and this...
How did you... What did you say to her to get you walking?
So you'll love this, right? And this is an example of possibly not even saying the right thing, but turning it into the right thing, right? So one of the principles of street approach and dating in general, turn your questions into assumptions. Mm-hmm. What are you doing today, Alex? Much better is, Alex, you're dressed in a very smart, casual way, so I imagine you have a suit.
I'm guessing you are going to a date.
Exactly.
On a date. So is that what you did with her?
No, I didn't. I did it wrong. I said, so what are you up to right now?
Yeah.
Right? And it was wrong. I don't know. I said, no, I think I said, are you busy right now? And then, or what are you doing? And then I was quizzing her, which is like the wrong thing to do, but I turned the wrong thing into the right thing.
Well, yeah, but you might have already... The thing is, you can ask questions once the attraction is generated and she's in... Once the girl's attracted to you and she's kind of invested in you, then you can ask questions.
Yeah.
This is the magical paradox of the structure, the method, the model, as it were.
Yep.
But if you start asking questions immediately, what are you doing right now? That might not work so well. So it was only quite later on into the interaction to start asking questions. But tell me, I want you to know what happened that you went off.
Yep. Okay. Great.
Walking.
So she said meeting friends, and I said, "Are you busy now?"
Okay. So you were quite strong.
Yeah, but not in like but you busy now? And she thought about it, and she was like, "No."
Okay. Good. Yeah.
And then I suggested, okay, cool, let's grab some coffee.
Fine, very good. So you kind of challenged her whether she really was busy or not, because let's be honest, everyone's got a spare 20 minutes. And then you started walking and you kissed.
The key move.
Oh, listen up, guys.
The key move, folks. I'm sure you've all done it, and you've all had it done to you loads of times before. You all do it to each other all the time, but the point is to trust what you feel absolutely in the moment and do it straight away. You know, your parents always told you. Your parents always told you, think before you speak. Worst advice ever. Isn't it?
Yeah, it is in a way, because you just get confused yourself.
Yeah. The best dating advice I could ever give anyone: don't think before you speak.
Yeah.
And funny enough, not true in 100% of cases. Anyone who's watching this, but
because you can recover if you're fresh and open, and you get to put your foot in your mouth, you can still recover.
Yeah, exactly. So don't, and also I'd extend that in majority of cases.
So I think, sorry to interrupt you.
Go on.
We ought to move on with the vlog.
Yeah, sure.
So it sounds to me as if that was a key moment, saying, "But what are you doing right now?" And then you started walking, and then the stage was set.
There's a key moment I have to drop in.
And what was the key moment?
And this is acting without
thinking.
thinking.
We're filming. Yeah. Carry on.
So is the key moment is this, right? The key moment is the key moment. Right. It's kind of
key moment. To fuck everything.
Very good.
The key moment, what did he say? He swears well in English.
He swears well. I know good English.
Go on, the key moment was.
How is it that?
Anyway, well, I guess we've got to keep talking.
If he comes back, we'll get him into the movie. Sit him down.
Anyway.
You might have some good tips on how to deal with people in the streets.
Unbelievable. So anyway, the key moment is, I just basically, I said, okay, you free for coffee? And then or whatever I said. And then the moment she said yes, I just gestured.
Okay.
And then we started walking arm in arm. There you go, proximity.
And then it was only a matter of seconds before you kissed.
Yeah, like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. You know, because every
so
time
not seconds, 3 minutes. Come on.
Okay, right, let's get specific.
Mr. Powers. I want to know, how did the kiss happen?
Okay, I imagine it was 2 minutes. I imagine it was 2 minutes after that fact. So it was walking along arm in arm. Every now and then, you know, you stop to emphasize a point. You know, you increase that proximity. You know, of course, you're feeling it. You know, I wasn't trying to. The thing is, I wasn't trying to do this. It was something that happened. You know.
Yeah.
It wasn't It wasn't
Tell me when it happened. Tell me what physical action happened.
Okay, great. Yeah. So, walking arm in arm, and then it would have been something like, "What? Sorry, can you stop? What? Sorry, can you say that again?" And okay. And and then she was happy as well, right? She was happy with this physical proximity, and then we walked on a little bit more, and then next time we stopped, it was on, and then that's where that kiss happened.
So it was on.
Yeah.
It was like, don't think, it was clearly there.
Yeah.
Because when I watched the video, it was like two magnets coming together.
Yeah.
Although she was the more powerful magnet, she was coming to you more than you. But you were coming to her.
Right. Okay.
To
little.
kiss.
Yeah.
But she was actually looking. Obviously, she's not going to kiss you. You need to be the one who makes the decision.
Yeah.
But it felt like she came a long way.
Yep.
It's like when you go into, you know, she came a long way. Yeah. It was like so bloody obvious that she wanted to be kissed.
A little physical moving things forwards with a girl tip for things like this, which is if you put your hand on the small of her back, as she gestures forwards, you can kind of gently push her as well. So that will really encourage her.
Well, so it's kind of like we don't quite know what is working, to be, if we're honest. We pretend that, to break it down and understand what's going on, but in a way you just get into the vibe and you're doing things without even really realizing that you're doing them, and that's kind of a good place to be because it's totally natural. And maybe the conclusion is that you've got a foundation of skills and experience
100%.
underneath you, and what's that done? It's given you confidence.
Yeah, exactly.
And obviously we know that confidence, perhaps above all, perhaps even above money, although perhaps not above being a celebrity, but confidence is just such an attractive quality.
Yeah.
And once you've generated the confidence, experience, skills,
Yep.
and such, you can kind of then flip it around and do anything you like.
Yeah.
And throw away the skills and throw away the toolbox and that's exactly what you did by the sounds of things.
Yeah. With confidence, it really comes down to reps and sets, but reps and
What?
sets. Okay, so like
Like
Arnold
you're in the gym?
Schwarzenegger said. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it is
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. So it's reps and sets, but the thing is, if you don't know what you're doing in the gym, you're never going to get anywhere, no matter how hard you work.
Got to be conscious reps and sets.
Conscious reps and sets that build competence. And of course, there's a whole thing about conscious competence, unconscious competence. Now, here's the thing, right? This is the thing. If you're the more what confidence is, I believe, is how comfortable with yourself you are at any one moment. If the more comfortable you are with yourself, the more comfortable she will feel around you.
Yeah.
And ultimately, for a girl to move forwards with you, I believe she has to feel safe. And in order for her to feel safe, you have to feel safe. So the key is it's sets and reps, but with skill, which is where, of course, this is what we teach. We teach you how to, because you can. I know guys, unfortunately, that have been doing it for 10, 12, 15 years that still suck. Yeah. Whereas if you're someone like yourself or me that's had coaching in this area, it means the reps and sets that you do have more applied intensity, and you can build your confidence much quicker. So that made sense.
It's interesting because we started off this blog with the topic of leading.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we've spun off in a kind of intergalactic, interplanetary place here.
Yeah.
With this kind of subtle stuff which I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
Okay,
I can spin it back to leading if you want.
Only if it feels that
Yeah.
it fits.
Yeah, it does. When it comes to leading, the most important person you must be comfortable leading is yourself.
Is it perhaps a bit like with this girl that I mentioned in the foreign city? I'm like, if it was you and a mate and invited me to the ballet, I'd just say, sounds like a great idea, unfortunately I've got a busy schedule.
Yeah.
That's being comfortable with myself and making my own decisions about what I'm doing on my trip. The girl pulls you in a place where you're like, oh, maybe I can fit it in, maybe we'll do and you get, so you're not really, how did you express it? Feeling that you're leading yourself, as it were.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel I'm leading myself because I'm arranging a trip, and I've actually got quite a few bites of interest.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
Little honeybees buzzing around the honey pot.
Right.
Such that I do actually feel like a bit of a honey pot.
You're a honeybee, baby. They're all coming after you.
And I'm kind of leading. It's in a slightly artificial way because when you're on a trip, you've got lots of things to do. You've only got so much time
Exactly.
to meet these girls. So I'm having to say I have to let some of the honeybees off of the table.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that would that be an example of leading yourself?
I feel what you're alluding to there is that your interests and leading your life takes precedence over letting the girl dictate the experience.
Yeah.
That's one aspect of it.
Yeah.
The next aspect of it is when it comes to
There's
leading.
the macro aspect of it, which is the life that you're leading.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what I'll give you. And then there's a micro aspect, which is the example that you've given of the girl in the street. So we unwittingly we have stumbled back on the topic before.
Yeah.
So it is all about leading in a way.
And genuinely believing that the decision you're making in that time is the best thing that you could be doing for both you and the girl.
Yeah, you are making a decision.
Yeah, making a decision. Yeah.
And the decision you made in respect of that girl was it was partly, if this can be said to be a decision, I am going to show her that I'm attracted to her, and she's going to see that. I'm completely comfortable with the idea of communicating that I find her genuinely attractive.
Yeah.
That would set the tone of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Is that right?
And it wasn't even an intellectual thought. It was just like an you know.
But, yeah, built on the years of experience and skills and success,
Yeah.
but also built on that day's
Yeah, exactly.
warming
The
up,
momentum
getting
that
into
I
the
built
vibe,
up, the
the
vibe.
momentum that you built up approaching people previously.
Yeah, exactly.
It don't just come out of nowhere and you see a video of a guy doing this
No.
on the street and you think,
Yeah.
oh, he does it all the time. Of course,
No.
that's ridiculous.
No, absolutely.
So, yeah, I just wanted to kind of draw us to a close
Brilliant.
by mentioning, because one of the things that I was saying at the beginning, that guys often have difficulty with the idea, the introverts, the chaps who perhaps aren't so assertive,
Yes.
roll off. There could be writers, IT people, artistic people, thoughtful people, reflective people, intellectuals. They're thinking, fuck, there's this guy going out into the streets and hitting on girls and kissing them in the streets, for God's sake, that's not me.
Right.
And I consider myself to be, or is in that kind of category of person. And that was been a big problem for me all my life.
Yeah.
Squaring the circle of feeling that I'm not the sporty jock or the successful business dude or whatever, or the social. Maybe you think I am, but I certainly wasn't, like that as a youngster, as a teenager and such. Is this not wanting to, this problem around what it means to lead, but
Yeah.
perhaps in a way what we're saying here is it's not about aggressively going out and grabbing
No,
things
no.
and forcing yourself into situations. It's like making it in a decision.
Yeah. I mean, look, that
I mean,
wouldn't.
but both. Sorry,
Go on.
but just like with the macro example of leading,
Yeah.
I'm leading my life. I've arranged a trip, and I do lead a very full life
Yeah.
these days. Which means I have only got a limited amount of time. I've got obligations that are going to that have to be met, and I can't just sit down with my phone for 3 hours and text
Yeah.
girls and such. So the life I lead actually, in a strange way, does help me to generate attraction in the girls, such that they, start to chase me. Similarly, in your example, it's the microcosm, the kernel, the seed holds the tree, to use a more colourful and summary metaphor. So your example is a seed, and my example is a tree. If you're leading your life like that,
Yeah.
that you are in all situations, being honest about how you feel about someone in a situation,
Yeah.
making an internal decision that I've got a busy schedule. I'm not gonna just muck about with that schedule in order to accommodate a girl that I'm attracted to, which ultimately leaves in her not being attracted. So you've for those who are, if you like, more introverts,
Yes.
take heart. It's not about going out into the world aggressively.
No.
It's-
No, absolutely not.
It's about
Opposite.
establishing a principle of kind of self-respect and of, well, you said it earlier, kind of leading yourself, leading your own life.
Yep. Yep. And also, not that even this kissing a girl on the street should even be the goal. I wouldn't.
It's at the end of the day, it's a bit of a party trick, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I think
not to
yeah.
diminish.
No. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
beautiful moment.
But the irony is, and a lot of guys I know in this industry, it's all about how quickly can you do this X, Y, Z with a girl. I'm all about respecting myself. If I don't feel I'm about moving at the pace that I feel comfortable with as well as the girl. And it just so happened on that day, in that moment, that I was comfortable with it. But in many other cases, I would have wanted to take much longer to, kiss a girl or move things forward.
Yeah.
So, I was just respecting how I felt in that moment as well. I wasn't trying to push an agenda. I mean, obviously there was physical proximity and I was aware of that, but go on.
Well, I was going to say force or apply a framework to a situation. You'd have to have done that in the past, but in this situation it wasn't necessary and would have been counterproductive.
Yeah.
Just a final thought.
Yeah.
Is that to go back to the very beginning, if you want to be able to kiss a girl in the streets, if you want a girl to be chasing you over the text exchange after the approach, or perhaps after one date or whatever, if you want all of that, you need to, be leading the situation in the way in which we've described, leading, not aggressive, interfering, agenda-driven leading, and the what you need to understand, the reason that you're doing this is because when you first see a girl, even when you first see her photo, if it's an online thing, you are like, right, I want to see her. When are we meeting?
By you.
When a girl is interested in a guy, she's like, well, maybe not. He's one of a number.
Yeah.
I haven't made a decision that I want to meet him.
Yeah.
And where guys get annoyed with themselves and angry and reactive and churned up a bit, is the reason they get annoyed with themselves is because they project the fact that they have decided they want to see the girl straight away onto the girl, thinking that therefore she wants to see him straight away. Why doesn't he want to see me straight away?
Yeah.
Why isn't he just saying, yes, Thursday 2 p.m. is great, let's meet for a drink? Unless you really understand that a girl is quite different and she's more like an employer who's got 50 CVs and job applicants that are looking at and having to sift through them. The better you understand that, the less irritated you'll be, because you'll understand women, and you'll as a fellow, you understand a fellow human being. When you understand
a fellow human being, yeah, exactly,
you don't get angry with them because you understand the situation that they're in, and you may laugh at them and joke about it or tease them about it, but you don't take it personally because you understand. And women, they are well, I mean, we're the bees and they're the flower, and they've got precious pollen, so they're not just gonna meet you for coffee. The flower is not going to meet the bee at 2 o'clock for coffee. The minute the bee buzzes into view. Any thoughts on that, the deep psychology of the different way women and men react initially?
I think it's. I think you said it really, really nicely there, and I really like the analogy that you put about being a human being. I felt that energetically when you said that. I would just quote a quick story from a friend of mine, and he was saying, I kissed the girl on the last date, and when I saw her again, she said I was moving too quickly. When I tried to kiss her again, I don't understand that. This never happened before.
I don't understand.
Literally, I don't understand that. And I said to him, like, bro, rather than the data that you previously collected that thought you can strategize 1 + 1 = 2, in reality, she's a human being. What was she presenting to you?
Well, I think we've given some priceless. It's money, isn't it? If each word was $1, this would still be great value for money.
There you go.
Thank you for nattering away with me on this beautiful afternoon. The
Absolute
bells
pleasure.
are calling out to day gamers across the world to get from out behind their computers, get their stylish clobber on, style video plug, style, which helps us to segue into a final plug. So we've got Approach course 29th of June, We've sent out a program, a long email to anybody who's interested for 3 days. There'll be a maximum of 1 coach, 2 guys. And of course we've got another course in September. We're trying to basically cement 3 courses a year as a bare minimum. Okay, thanks a lot, Tim. It's been very interesting.
Pleasure. Thank you. Great.
Strap on your balls, you bastards.
Brilliant. Most important thing, not to think too much, right?
Yeah.
Just go with the flow. And why you choose me?
Oh, it's only coffee.
Exactly. Only coffee. Alright, only coffee. Yeah? Good. Nice sound to it. Only coffee. Yeah, exactly. So Wood, yeah? I have one friend in Wood.
Oh,
Now I have 2 maybe.
okay. Maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
And naughty.